This is the first problem from Objective 5. How does the graph of y equals 3x squared differ from the graph of y equals negative x squared? Okay, we've got two quadratic equations, and it appears the only thing that differs between the two is the coefficient of the x squared. So what we will do is do a quick review on quadratics and their graphs. We just look at some. First we'll look at the parent, which is y equals x squared. And you see we get a parabola. The vertex is at 0, 0, and it opens up. Let's try y equals negative x squared. So you can see what happens if you have a negative number instead. And you can see we have the same parabola, but it's reflected across the x-axis. So now it opens down. I believe ours, let's just take a quick look. Yes, we want negative x squared and 3x squared. So let's put in 3x squared here. Get rid of this one, we don't need it. Okay, here's the 3x squared. It opens up. And notice when my coefficient of x has a larger absolute value, my parabola narrows. That's because the slope here is steeper. So when it's steeper, it brings it in. So I think I already know the answer to the question, but before we look at these, let me just show you another little utility that helps us see. If I can find it here. Nope, not that. Okay, here it is. This one's nice because we can watch what happens kind of in real time. Right now I have y equals 1x squared plus 0x plus 0, which is basically y equals x squared, our parent. Now watch what happens as I increase the 1. See the graph get narrower? If we decrease it, it starts getting wider again. Up until, okay, notice this is no longer quadratic. This is y equals 0x squared plus 0x plus 0, which is y equals 0. We get a horizontal line through 0 on the y-axis. So now back to the quadratics. Here we have negative, and it opens down. Okay, so that's the only change we're working on here. But what the other thing that we see on the TAKS test a lot is when the constant changes. So let's just look at that. Notice what happens as the constant increases, the parabola shifts up, and as it decreases, the parabola shifts down. Now you'll be able to do this on your calculator. We'll just show you. Okay, let's put in 3x squared, and then let's put in negative x squared. Whoops, forgot the x. And I want this one to be darker, so I will go over here and make this one a thick line. So there's our first one and there's our second one. So the thick one is the negative x squared and the thin one is the 3x squared. So let's look at our choices. The graph of y equals 3x squared opens upward and is narrower. Okay, here's our 3x squared. It does open upward and it's narrower. That looks like the right answer. But remember, we have to find 3 incorrect answers before we stop. So the graph of y equals 3x squared opens upward. That's true. And is wider. It is not wider. So not true. The graph of y equals 3x squared opens downward. And remember, the 3x squared, we'll just turn this one off so you can see. Here's the 3x squared. Opens up. So this is wrong because of that. And D, the graph of y equals 3x squared opens downward again. That is incorrect. So we found our answer.